Good. Okay. This is no questions? No? Okay. So let's continue with decision making. Maybe I'll do something. Let's write a program. Let's do this. Let me share. And let me open C++. What time is it now? Wow, it took a while to connect. That clock is right. Like 5 minutes to connect. File new. Oh. Control N is a new one. Yep. Okay. So we're going to start a new one. And maybe before I do anything, let's talk about what we're going to do. Calculate. That's my plan today. The class average. And grade for, I don't know, CSC our class 101. So I'm going to write a program that will calculate the class average, like an average for each student, and your grade for the class. And I have a plan down the road to sell this program, so I'm going to ask the user to enter the number of exams and assignments. We'll also ask for the percentage of each. Is the homework assignment counts 50% or is it 40%? Is it 30%? What about the exams? And if you have other things like you want to put in, like if you have discussion, you can modify the program, but that's good for today. So basically, it's going to ask the person, hey, you in this class, how many homework assignment the teacher has given you? 9 or 10. How many exams? 5, 6, whatever number you put there. Then the machine should go through them and read them. Okay. Let's begin just like anything else in the past. Pound include the usual IO stream. I hate when they try to help me. Using namespace. STD. INT main. Curly bracket to open it, curly bracket to close it, return 0. Every program, we start with the same thing. These 5 lines from line 6 on, 6 to 11. I try to define all my variables on the top. That's my style. So maybe I'll tap it here, INT, because I'm going to ask the person, how many homework assignments do you have? How many exams do you have? So I need to, number of exams, I'm going to read that. Num of homework. And how big the class, the size of the class. I'm going to have the person give me these information. The size. And if you said I have 6 homework assignments, I need to calculate the average for them. And I need to know what percentage for the grade. So these will be decimal value, double. Homework average, exam average. I try to think of all the variables I'm going to use, but I'm sure I'll be bouncing back up there as I think of something else to add them to the list. What else? Maybe homework percentage. That's for percentage. Exam percent. I'm going to be so as I'm taking this course, I'm going to be adding them for homework average. So I'm going to be, so I need a location to have the sum. Sum. I don't know if anything else I need, but if I need them, I'll come back and put them there. And character, I'm going to be spitting out the average and the grade. You know what? I also need probably the class average, the student average. So we'll call it average. What's your average in the class? Because based on the average, I'm going to figure out your actually grade there. Grade is a character, A, B, C, D. I'm not doing plus or minus. If I do plus or minus, then I will have to define that as a string. Okay, so that's the definition. Let's get the values here. Let's get the values. So what do we need? Cout. Enter the number of exams, number of homework assignments. We'll do homework assignments first. And we're going to read that. CN. I'm going to probably add something to it. I just thought of something. And we'll call that num homework. How many homework assignments do you have? We're going to read that number. Should we make sure that number is more than 0? What happens if somebody puts negative 50? Can you have a negative number? No. Do you think there's a class that has more than 50 homework assignments in it? Maybe 75? 100? Let's say a cap between 0 and 100. So maybe to do that, I'll just do here, do what? Repeat this loop till you type in a number that is between, I like to indent to make sure they line up. Here we go. While what? While the number you type in is less than or equal to 0, that means you have no homework assignment. Well, you could have 0 homework assignment because maybe the teacher doesn't want to give homework, everything based on exams. So it could be 0. And, or, so it keeps you in the loop. You can use a while statement, you can do a do statement, you know. The difference between the do and the while, the do actually will make you go through the loop once before it checks. If you put the while statement, it actually checks before you enter the loop. Now, we're going to have a problem here. So, or here, that's the 2-line straight line. Num homework is greater than 100. If someone type in more than 100, We know that's not true. I mean, whatever number we think is the right number. Let me save this one. And today, this is March 2nd. And let me move this one down. And where's compile and run? CN, oh, I forgot semicolon here. C out. Number was not declared. Let me see how I wrote that. Capital W, I guess. I have this capital. I'll make a lowercase w here to make it match because this is lowercase x. So I'll just try to make them match. It really doesn't matter, but they have to match. Well, okay, here we go. I gotta make lower h, w. Oh, here we go. If I type in a negative 60, it's gonna keep me there, or negative 50. Enter the number of homework assignment, 200. Nope. 30, that's good. So maybe you want to tell them between, so they'll know why between 1 or 0 and 100. So they know but the number should be between 0 and 100 instead of just saying enter the number. Like I gave you a number, I put 200, but you don't know this was capped at 100. So this way, you know it's capped at 100. If I type in 300, it says nope. If I type in negative 50, nope. If I type in 25, that's good. So we validate the value. We can copy this and paste it and just change the number of homework to number of exams. And we can validate the number of exams too. So let's take the do here. Copy that. Control V. And instead of number of homework is number of exams, EX. Between 0 and 100, EX here, EX here, EX here. So we asking how many exams you're going to give in this class. And we'll get the class size. How many students in the class? And validate that. Control V. Enter the class size. Now, the class size might be more than 100. In the class. So let's say, what's the largest number you think of any class that you know? 1,000 maybe? And really, a class size can be 0. That means nobody in the class. So between 1 and 1,000, we'll say. And let's read the size here. And this is the size. This is the size. If it's less than 1 or more than 1,000, that will validate how many students in the class. If I was doing the program to sell at SDCC, I'll probably cap it to 40. We do not have a classroom that will hold more than 40 people, unless you're in an auditorium downstairs, you know? But usually our class is capped at 32. That's a union thing with us. So if you need more than 32, you have to get permission from the instructor. We don't have anything more than 40. Or anything more than 34, probably. We don't have any classes that big. You want to get the percentage? What percent of the grade comes from the homework? What percent comes from the exams? Again, we can validate every one of these values. Control V. Enter the percent. We'll say what percent is the homework assignment. Is the homework average or the homework assignment. And the percentage between 0 and 100. The homework might count 0% or 100%. So that's, what did we call that location for the percentage? Up there, I called it what? H percentage, PER. So this is HPER. Make sure the percentage is not negative. Less than 0. Or HPR. I think capital PER has capital P here. What percent is the homework assignments between 0 and 100? And that will do that and repeat that for what percent is the exam. I can just copy this. Copy. What percent is the exams? Between 0 and 100. That's the exams percent. The exams percent. The exams percent. What else should I do? What do you think? Let me save this and run it. I can see a potential problem. I can see a potential problem. Okay, homework assignment. Number of, let's say we have 10 homework assignments. That's a good number. How many exams? 3 exams. Good number. How many students in the class? 32. Good number. What percent of the homework assignment between 0 and 100? 80%. What percent of the exams? What percent is the exams? 60%. That's a good number. Does anyone see a problem with that? Math-wise. They're adding up to what, 140%? So you really should check for that, you know? Make sure the value is not above 140%, you know, or more than 100%. They should add up to 100%. They should not be above 140. So if you want to protect for that, you can. So how do you protect for that? I can set up here, repeat this process again, all of this again, do curly bracket to begin here, and repeat all of this. While, here we go. While what? While E% plus, what was the other one? I use E for both, H%, yep, H%. While the two of them combine, I need another set of parentheses here. That tells the machine add them first. Add these two numbers first. While this one is less than or different than 100, not equal to. I think its exclamation is not equal to. I can see a problem with that, not equal to 100.
You just do if E per plus H per is like over 100 or under 100, you can just write both lines there.
Yeah, I could do that. The reason I don't want to say equal to, when you have a decimal value, when you set something to 0, there's a very good chance the software is going to save it as 0.000000001. Or if it's a 1, it might say 0.999999999. So that might be a problem. They might round that number. Even if you said 0, they might not make it a 0. So here, maybe I should say if it's greater than 100, or I like your idea, or let's copy that and make it less than 100. If it's more than 100 or less than 100, Control V, Control C to copy, Control V to paste it. And less than 100. Then go back and ask me the questions again. What percent is the homework? What percent is the grade? I'll show you that. Next to the while. This one, you mean? I need that one to close this one. See, this one closes this, and this one closes that, but this one closes the whole thing. Yep. Let me save this one. Let's run it. Capital P.
And on the other side.
Okay. So I will put some good numbers here. How many homework assignments? 12. How many exams? 5. How big the class? 18 people. And now let's put 70 here and 80 here. Enter the percentage of the homework assignment between 0 and 100. 50, 60. Nope. Now, let me put 40 and 60. And now those add up to 100, and the machine said, that's good. You know? I should say the sum should be 100, you know? Let them know the sum of the two numbers should be 100. But this one I should protect for a value. If you type in something more than 140%, this will protect for that. Okay. We didn't do anything so far except validate the values. So,
Professor,
yes.
my question, if this is week 6 and we're moving on to user-defined functions.
Yep.
Are we moving on to encapsulating the do while into a function?
Eventually, yep. That's on Wednesday. Yep. Wednesday, I'm going to actually say, well, this wasn't really, notice I'm repeating all the stuff here. See that repeat there? You see what's copy and paste, you know? So like, why am I copying and pasting, copying and pasting? Why not write a function called validate? And anytime I want to validate these numbers, I just take the number, put it in, and that will check it for me. So that's actually the point of the user-defined function is actually, you don't have to copy and paste all the stuff. You can write a function yourself. You can call it validate, and that will check and see if the numbers are good or not. So on Wednesday, we're going to do that. And I felt actually when we did this section, because we had Monday off because of the snowstorm, I felt like I didn't give you the 2 classes. I was trying to give you another class on the loops. That was my thinking too, you know. Okay.
I didn't see any, I don't think I saw do in your like notes.
Yep,
at all.
probably not. Sometimes I put them, there's a while and there's a do while.
Yeah.
The while, what the while does, the while checks before you enter the loop. The do while checks at the end of the loop. Notice where my check-in. I'm checking right here. So you go through the loop once,
Yeah.
then you check it here. If you made that a while, then it checks for this first before you read them.
No. Why would you want to use that over just the while? Is that if you know you're gonna want to run it once, you should automatically use a do, or is it just?
If you want to go through that, sometimes people just read the values, and if they're wrong, they write invalid value.
Okay.
While the value is more than 100, write invalid. If you're going to do invalid, the do will not be a good one, because the first time you enter it, how can it be invalid if you never put it there?
Yeah.
You know? But this one allows you actually, the do while allows to go through the loop once, then it checks after that. But they both do the same thing, really. You're not sure how many times it's going to repeat. Like the person might be sitting there for hours before it reads that. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I can finish this.
One other stupid question.
Go ahead.
If for some reason I wanted to put a break in there, the break will go out of the do first.
Yeah, we're good. Depends where you put the break. If you put the break inside this one, it will get out of that loop. If you put the break here, like right there, we'll get out the loop, the outside loop. What I did, by the way, there is called nested loop. What I have a loop that looks like this. The first do while. It adds the checks. There's the do here. That's my loop. Inside that, I have another do here. And that's another one right there. And there's another one here. So that this loop and this loop inside that loop, we call that a nested loop. The one thing you want to make sure when you do loops like these is you don't want to be closing this one after this. That's a problem. So you got to close the inside one first. You got to close it here, then close the outside one. So if you want to get out of this loop here, you can write the break here. And that'll get you out of this loop. If you put the break here, that'll get you out of this. We'll go to that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to set up a loop to go through that and start reading the scores. And since you like the while statement, so I'll bring in a while here. So let me define int. I'm going to set a counter that will count for me. I'll call j and set it equal to 1. I'm going to start reading the values. To make it to this point, that means everything is good. Otherwise, you'll not make it to this point. I have a class that has more than one student, at least one student in it, and we'll go through it. And I'll use the while statement just to be different. While j, that's the number of students, is less than or equal to the size of the class. Did I use capital S? I think I used capital S. Yeah. What do you want to read? Curly bracket to open it, curly bracket to close it. Now this while similar to the do while, except here it checks to see, it checks this one before you enter the loop, where the do while doesn't check till you exit the loop. So I'm gonna ask for what? I'm gonna ask for the student name maybe, or maybe I'll ask for the scores. Here we go. See out. I'll try and make it user friendly. Double quotation, student. Write the word students. Give me the letter J, like student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, student 6. Student 1, maybe I'll put after that. So it's going to say student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4. That's good. Okay. The exam sum. Did I use exam sum? What did we have? I didn't use exam sum. I'm going to be adding. Okay. Let's add the sum of the scores for them. One for the exam and one for the homework assignment. I'll define them here. Double E sum, exam sum equals to 0. I don't like this. And homework sum equals to 0. I don't like this just because when you define something inside the loop, see how we have a loop? The machine is going to use the double every single time you enter that loop. It's not really a good practice to do that. So what I should do is define them before I enter the loop. Just go, you can assign the value to 0. That's fine. But you want to define them outside the loop, up there on the top. So you're not define them every time you enter the loop. If you enter the loop 10 times, then you define them 10 times. So this is E sum and H sum. Define them up there. So now you can put them inside. Every time I enter the loop for a new student, I want to reset them. I want them to start with 0 because for each student, I want to start with the sum being 0 and read their scores and start adding their scores. And this is where a function actually becomes really good. Okay. So read the exam scores. Let's read exam scores. That's what I'm going to read. So let's read them. For I and T, I equals to 1. I is less than or equal to number of exams. What did I call this? Num EX, I think. I plus plus. Increment each time you go through it by 1. See out. And I'll just make it simple enough. Exam. And let's put space, then put I. Exam 1 score. And it's going to wait for me to type something. So I'm going to read that CN. I think I define a location. I called it score. That would just read the value. Read the score. And add that to the sum score. E sum equals E sum plus score. Add them. Again, I might have used capital S. Let me just double check. E sum, yep. It looks like I used capital S there. That's another bad thing about making the program that big because you lose track of what you're doing there. So if you break this into pieces, it makes it easier. Again, we'll do that next class. We'll show you how we're going to dissect this into smaller user-defined functions. We're going to make our own functions. So that will give us the sum for that. And now you want to find the average, the exam average after you finish with this loop. So once you read all the scores and you add them, you're going to exit the loop. Here we go. So this, we're going to do the average. What did I call that? E average. E average, exam average equals what? E sum. Up. E sum, the exam sum, divided by what? This is num, not bum. Number of exams. How many exams do you have there by the number of exams? And if I copy this and paste it, I can do the same thing with the homework. So let's repeat this for the homework. I'm almost done, so I think I'm going to chop it here. I was about to calculate the average, but I'm looking at the clock and we have a division meeting today at 12:15, so I got to go to that. So this is read homework scores. So instead of exam here, it's going to say homework. And this is num of homework. I think I used capital H, lowercase w, I think. Read the scores and homework sum equals homework sum plus the score, and to calculate the homework average, homework average, number of homework. Once I have the homework average and I have the exam average, I can tell you what the average in the course. So once you finish with that, your average, I think I use AVG for average. Let me just double check. Average, yep. Just double check. H, okay. Is going to equal to what? Homework average times the percentage, homework per percentage, plus exam average times exam AVG per percentage. That's it. I'll calculate the average. And now let me print the result. See out. Student. I think I used J for that. Oh. Space average is, and let's do the average. AVG, I think. Then go to the next line. That should be, I should have, what is the while j? What is the end of the while j? The class size. I don't know if I want to close it here. I don't think I want to close it here. I forgot to put curly brackets for this one. I don't want to close it here. This one, I should have a curly bracket here to open it, and curly bracket to close it here. I hate. There we go. So I want to do all of this for the number of the exams, the same thing, because I copied and pasted. So that'll give me the class average, which is fine. I should have curly bracket here to get and let me push this one to the right. That's with this one. Then calculate the homework average. Then calculate the class average and print that and repeat. This is the close of the first. That should be down here. This one actually should close the while, this one, for the whole class. I think that will do it. Let's see. Save it, because I got to run to a meeting. I was about to calculate the average. The grade, is it a B or a C? int j equals to 1, while j is less than the size.
You didn't end the statement.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking at it like I don't see anything wrong with it. Because
Yeah, it's gonna yell at you too. Same thing.
Some
Same thing.
C out, yep.
And then you're missing one down here as well.
What is it?
East
Some, yep.
score.
And I'm sure because I copy and pasted.
Yep.
Yep, here we go.
That looks good.
We'll find out. Let's see. C in score. Let me see if I call it capital S.
Oh, you don't even have.
I didn't define score. I thought I did somewhere here. Okay, I'll put this three students, number of 3 homework assignments, 2 exams, and 4 students. 50%, 50%, good numbers. Student 1, exam 1 score 50. I should have them on the next line. Exam 2 score 30. Homework 1 score 70. 60. 40. The only thing I wish I put student 1 on a separate line. And because I forgot to divide them by 100. I entered them in percentage. So this is really 48 here. I'll come back and fix it. I'll put some gibberish stuff here. I'll put ABC. That'll kick me out. Yep. Infinite loop. Control S, I think, was something to stop. I hope it stopped there. Yeah, I forgot because I entered the percentage as a percent. So I should divide them by 100 here. Percent, where was it? Where is the average? percent divided by 100. And average percent divided by 100. Gotta change it to a percentage. There's an R there, a per. So that's what it was. And the other thing I don't like here, C out, student one, and I'm gonna end it here. Where was it? Student one for the J. And go the next line. And L. I'll make it one student or two students with 2 and 1. I gotta go to a meeting. Let's see. 2 students. This is what? 2 homework assignment, 1 exam, and 2 students. And 60 and 40. Here we go. Student one, exam 1 score, 50, 60, whatever. Homework 1 score, 70, 30. Average is 54. Student 1 should have been J. Oh, you know what? I never incremented J. J equals J plus 1.
Hope you like the meeting.
Yep, I am going to be late. So here I got to say J equals J plus 1. So the next person is student number 2. Because I didn't use a for loop. I used the while statement. Notice here while J. So you got to increment the J. J equals J plus 1. And that will take care of it. Okay, I got to stop here and run to my meeting. Yes. Save it. Yes. If you want to see it running, come back to the lab later. I'll show you it's running.